Again, we'll trim off the seam allowance. We'll lay this back down, turn the back as towards me. Right sides together. And since I want to be sewing the sleeve side down, I'll be sewing it from the front to the back on this one. Just a matter of matching up your ends, matching up your raw edges, and easing it in. Match up your ends. And that's all there is to it. Trim off your seam allowance like you did in the other one. Alright, the last thing we have to do is sew up the sides of our sweater. So what we're going to do is we're going to match the right sides together, just like this. And simply sew them down. Now what I like to do is you have the seam here in the armpit. I like to match that up. If you match up the edge of the sleeve seam, a lot of times you'll get to this armpit seam and it won't quite match up. Since we're probably going to be cutting off and trimming the edge of the end of the sleeve anyway, I'm going to match up the armpit seam, which means that this is actually offset a little bit. And now just all the way down the side. Okay. Now is a good time to trim off the excess seam allowance, just like we've been doing. There we go. Now we'll close up the other side seam and we'll be pretty much done. Again, we're going to match these armpit seams. And there we go. Another easy way you can trim off your excess seam allowance is with your rotary cutter. If you have your garment lying flat, it's very easy to see the stitching line, and you can just zip right up 1/8 of an inch away from that. This is actually a lot more accurate and even easier than using the scissors. Now what we'd like to do, or now what we need to do, because our original pattern called for hemming the sleeve ends and the bottom hem, and I'm going to leave these unhemmed on this shirt. What I usually do is I usually try it on and see how much of the sleeve I need to keep and how much I should cut off, and do the same thing with the bottom. Take a look at the bottom hem and determine how much of that I need to save and how much I don't. Okay, I'm looking at my sleeve end and I'm realizing that it's about 1 inch that I'm going to be cutting off. I'll lay this arm out flat, lay this arm directly on top of it, matching all of our seams. And it's okay if one arm is totally different from the other arm. Sometimes that's just how they went in. Maybe you sewed a little bit more seam allowance on one or the other, but you basically match them up as well as you can. Take your straight edge, and there you go. So I hope I've been able to demonstrate just how simple it can be to sew up a quick, easy knit sweater. Just take a t-shirt pattern, an acrylic wool blend knit, or any other knit of your choice, and just sew it up. After you cut your fabric out, it might take you about 45 minutes to complete this project. Hope you enjoyed it.